Hi, my name is Nick. I'm a former Amazon bar raiser who now runs a service called Amazon Bound, where we help talented job seekers to interview effectively with Amazon and other companies that practice behavioral interviews. If this sounds like an interesting topic to you, please subscribe to this channel. Today, I'll answer a question we frequently get. And the question is, should I use talking notes during my interviews with Amazon, particularly during my online interview loop with Amazon? And the answer I give to this question each time I hear it is a resounding no. The risk you take on by using notes is too overwhelming for the benefit, for the reward that you would potentially get in exchange. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of the Amazon interviewers on your loop might not care that you use notes, but a lot of them might care, particularly some of the more old school Amazonians like myself. I consider myself to be one. They would really question how valid and how genuine you are if during your interview you are reading and consulting notes instead of being focused and present in the conversation. So you don't know who will interview you. In some cases, the recruiter, the Amazon recruiter would say, go ahead, use notes, but that's really a loaded gun because you might be interviewed by somebody who really cares about that. And if they encounter a candidate who's using notes, and I've seen it happen a lot in my Amazon career, they would flag this person on one of Amazon's crucial leadership principles, such as earning trust. So the risk you incur of being interviewed by a person like that would take your chances of being hired from 100% down to potentially 0% or close to zero. So you have about 100% risk of not being hired. In exchange, the benefit that you would get from using your notes is not that dramatic. The majority of people I've worked with, they would get a bump of about 5 to 10 percentage points by using notes. You might be able to remember some details better. You might be able to be a bit more certain of your delivery and whatnot. But in general, you're not going to be a wholly different interviewer if you're using notes versus if you're not using notes. You're going to go maybe from 75 or 80% performance to +5, +10 percentage points. So in other words, it's not worth it. That extra 5 to 10% performance bump is not worth the potential downside of you raising a yellow or a red flag with someone on earning trust. What's more, I go even further and I suggest to our customers that during their online interviews with Amazon, they should be very clear that they're not reading and they're not consulting with any written material, but they're fully present in the conversation. How do you do that? Look at either the camera, which I'm doing right now, or you look at the interviewer's face on your screen, which I'm doing right now. The reason I suggest that you fix your gaze into one point or another point is that it's really easy to conclude that you're reading if your eyes are dancing around the screen, which is what I'm doing right now. You can see that even though I'm not reading, in the interviewer's mind, there could be some doubt that I am consulting notes. So do not do that. Keep your eyes focused on one point. If you need to collect your thoughts, make it very obvious, or take a pause. Make it very obvious that you're not reading. So I would maybe say pause and close your eyes, or look to the screen if you're trying to collect your thoughts. Just make it very, very clear that you're not reading and you're not looking at notes. That's going to help you with eliminating any doubt in the interviewer's mind that you might be reading. And then secondly, the only time I would suggest that it's okay for you to look at your notes is when it comes your turn to ask the interviewer questions at the end of each interview. At that time, I think it's totally fine to pick up your notes and say, hey, when they say, hey, Nick, give me a question or two if you have at the end. Then at that point you say, oh, wow, let's see, I have prepared about 15 questions for you guys on this sheet, and let me think which one I should pick for you. And their response would naturally be curious, like, oh, really, 15 questions? Tell me, what are those questions? When it is your turn to ask questions, that I would suggest is the only time when it's acceptable to look at your notes. Throughout the rest of the interview, please don't bother. It's not worth it. You've got this covered. I hope this was a useful video for you. If it is, please subscribe to this channel. Please ask us questions along the way. Thumbs up, chin up. You got this.